What's up, guys? This is the Board Game Roamer. I am here with an unboxing of a CMON title called Hate. This is actually not my copy. This is a friend of mine, Damon's copy. And so we're going to unbox it today, punch it and sort it, and play it. So here's the core box. This is the Kickstarter. So CMON, with this game, Kickstarter exclusive. It's not in retail. You can buy it at conventions. You could buy it from maybe somebody like the Game Stewards or something like that. That's a crowdfunding platform that bought some copies. But this isn't in retail. So there's a lot of stuff here. This is the all-in. And by all-in, I mean like almost in over your head all-in, because there is so much crap here. It's ridiculous. I've taken the shrink off of everything. And I'll just give you a quick shot of the back. Ridiculousness, basically, here. The number of units. There's 103 figures in here. 103. And that's just the main box. Of course, lots of tiles and tokens that are in here. The cool thing about this, too, though, is that a lot of these tokens, like the savagery tokens, resource tokens, hate tokens, stuff like that. A lot of that during the Kickstarter was upgraded, as you can see, sort of over here, into plastic. So that's going to be pretty awesome. There is some cardboard, but there are a lot of those tokens that will be plastic, which is really, really nice. This is an Adrian Smith game. This is based on his book series, The Chronicles of Hate. And Guillotine Games also is part of this with CMON. So let's open the box. This 50-pound box. Oh my God, there's so much stuff. Okay, so, geez, where do we start? Some of this stuff, I don't know if they have, I haven't seen a PDF for this stuff. So these are your scenario sheets, your clan sheets for your villages, right? The map for everything that you do, and then, like I said, the scenario sheets. And we'll look at those in a minute. Every every character miniature that you have comes with a sleeve protector, because if you look over here, you'll see, much like Mystic Vale, you've got these upgrades. The way the upgrades happen is with these cards that just slide in. So that's how you know what upgrades you've got, and you can see there's a ton of those. And these are some thick packs. There's some that are upgrades, some that are not upgrades. Alright, so it's not all good. You got your tokens. There's your savagery tokens. Plastic. Very nice. You can't really tell from that, can you? But you see what they are. There's a bag of it I never can close. Then you got some, I don't know what those are, fire tokens, and it's like another form of oh, I think those are pillage tokens for the huts. And then your hate tokens, which are nice, and your innocence tokens, and some special objective markers. You have some dice, custom D6s, basically with your attack, defense, shields, and wild faces, if I remember the faces right. And then here's your resource tokens, which are hands, which somehow you harvest hands off a tree, which I find kind of funny. Then you have all these decks of cards. Well, and we'll open those here in just a second. Then you have your, I believe this is the game board itself. Yeah. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, they said they upgraded this box to where you could do, there's enough components in here where you could play two clashes at the same time. So you have 4 people playing at the same time. And then you could get enough stuff otherwise to have, maybe the Battlegrounds was the 3rd. So you'd actually have 3 clashes going at the same time with the amount of stuff that's in here, which is insane. All right, let's take these out. There's so much stuff. Punch boards. So we'll look at these in a second, but a lot of this stuff, like for example, these huts, there are some 3D terrain that was an optional buy, which we'll look at, that will let you take these huts and have them physically there. There's terrain tokens that will raise the terrain up that will, again, are 3D things. And then we've got the minis. Yeah, I'll do that out of the way. Oh, here's all the bases. And the bases do matter because if your attacker or defender determines whether you do or do not have a base in the scenarios. So those actually serve a purpose in this game, where in a lot of games they just kind of look silly. We'll start with one. I'm assuming this is the standard. Well, no, it's not just the standard, it's just stuff, because I couldn't fit it all in one box. Good God Almighty, for the standard. Look at the detail on those things. That's freaking ridiculous. There's the princess. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me switch over to this. You can see like the insane amount of detail on these things. That's crazy. Very nice. That's going to be fun to paint. With all the spikes and stuff. That's going to be really fun to paint.
All the chains on that one.
Oh, yeah.
It's got little links.
I mean, the detail, if you like to paint, this is going to definitely be a chore. Because these details are ridiculous, man. So you have, and then there's the tyrant. That's the one main guy. I mean, look at all those, like, skulls.
Take forever to one.
Well, you could do it white and then wash it and then, I guess. But, I mean, oops. I mean, that's just the first box. Look at that. All those different minis. That's insane. Those are big, too. I don't know how much those
yeah,
the small stuff will have to hold. It'll have to hold all the individual warriors and young bloods and shamans and all that stuff. And here's the second box, which I believe is all the smaller units. Yeah. And the thing is with this, every clan has a different set of warriors and shamans and all that sort of stuff. So even though the bases, the white bases, for example, or all the shamans, that's the same for every clan. But the shamans all look different, so you can't just put all the shamans together. You have to put everything together with its own particular clan. So you have all the warriors, the shaman, the champions, the young bloods, all those different minis. And then you've got these mercenaries on the side, which are these guys that don't have a colored base. Right? So these guys are, I mean, just look at the detail on that. Holy crap. Look at that. That's ridiculous. It's insane. The mercenaries, during the course of the Chronicle, depending on the scenario, there's potentially a mercenary unit that you could get, and then that mercenary would actually be part of your forces that you could deploy potentially. Look at that. It's insane. Yeah, during the course of your Chronicle, which is basically the kind of the campaign. Chronicle, campaign are kind of the same thing. They look amazing. All right, so let's take a look over here. So these two sets of things are the that's why it's so thick, is because there's double of everything like this. Are tiles for huts and trees and terrain and whatnot. If you didn't get the big terrain,
so that may save a little, because there may be a time you don't want to pull out the trees.
Right. So you'll notice on the backside, like the huts, there's all different things that happen. Some of them you have warriors you have to fight. Some of them have innocents that you can choose what to do with. They generate hate. They potentially generate resources. These are the trees, maybe? No, those aren't the trees. I don't know what those are.
I think they are.
Are those the trees?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's trees you can get resources from. Here's the plateaus. Again, the different scenarios will have you stack these to make different levels. And there's a number of those. Plateaus. And this token is the feasting token, I think, where basically if you have that token, you have the most resources, you get some bonuses. So there's really not, because everything in this thing is in the core box is double, essentially, as far as tokens and whatnot. You can use this if you don't have the terrain. So here's all the cards. You have mercenary cards. So that will let you activate.
Hey.
Told you like the bottom side.
You can give them that.
They'll let you activate the mercenaries. You have these mission cards, secret missions, and underdog missions that have to do with, you're trying to do something specific, or if you're the underdog, something specific. But the difference with the regular secret missions and the underdog missions is that if you're behind in the Chronicle by a lot, these underdog missions basically give you a ton of rewards. Basically, they're ways to help you catch up. And then the regular secret missions just give you a little bit. Upgrades and or resources or hate. And then this deck, so each clan has a specific deck of, is it 8 cards, I think? 8, what do they call them? They're basically like special action cards that you can use, and each round of combat, there's 8 because it's 2 per round. So each round of combat, you draw 2 cards, and during that round, you can potentially activate these cards. And all these cards are different because they're themed based on the strength of the clan. So some clans, all their stuff's based on generating hate. Some of the clans is based on generating savagery. Some of them they do better when they're grouped and supported, etc., etc., etc. So each clan, you can see, they all have different backs and the names on them. So each clan is going to have their own specific deck to draw from. So that's cool. And this is only 6 clans in the base?
8. Well, 8 with the...
So there's 8 clans in this box, which is still ridiculous. So each clan, oh good, it says on the back. Well, the tyrant doesn't count. Mercenaries don't count. So each clan has a set of cards that'll have their symbol, and the different colors correspond to the different colored bases for their model, and it's got their pictures, so you can pick those out because, again, every clan is different. It's a huge stack of cards because there's 8, which is, again, ridiculous.
88 of them.
Ridiculous. So every clan, again, they have the same units to start with, but you can upgrade them. So there's all their cards. Obviously, the princes are the most powerful, and then the least powerful are the young bloods, right, with 1 and 1. But again, you upgrade those. I won't go through all those, but I will show you that each mercenary has their own card, and then of course the tyrant has his own card. Once you get him, now you have to, in the Chronicle, you have to go from where you're at to the inner circle, or the outer circle to the inner circle to the capital before you can get this guy. And there's some things you have to do. So he's difficult to get, but once you get him, he is a beast. But you can lose him. So if somebody attacks that central location, you're not guaranteed to keep him. So that's one of the things about this game is you can't just willy-nilly do whatever you want. And if you lose, there's consequences to losing. So you don't want to just get rid of your people. And if they get killed during a battle, they're gone too. So you don't want to just sacrifice them for no reason. Sacrifice the cheap ones. The young bloods can die. Also, each clan, and it's hard to see, but you can kind of see on the bottom here. You can see that you can't really see very well, but on the bottom, each clan has their own. They have a set of upgrades, and then there's a bunch of generic upgrades as well. I don't know, but you'll see you got like white here or gray. Those are good upgrades, right? So like +1 damage, or +1 die roll, etc., etc., etc. But you can get, they're all like that because you can get negatives. So like, I don't see any in here. Yeah, these are all the generic good ones. You can get scars, which are negative traits that are like -1 attack die, -1 move, etc., etc.
And they'll cover up slots.
Yeah, they'll cover up. That's right. They may cover up an upgrade that you already have, that you gave that unit. And I'm assuming that these are just the regular. Yeah, these are the regular sleeves for all that. Yeah, that's what that is. That'll be fun. They didn't. So this is the main board. It's just a generic board. Did you put the Kickstarter, the 2 mini boxes on top of each other? No, they were side by side, weren't they? I don't know. So here's the board, which is not really a huge board in terms of like table space, right? And it's very generic, and so again, what you do is you place, depending on the setup, it will have you place terrain and stuff in different locations, and then you would use this as your play surface with all your other cards for your guys set to the side. Pretty standard. Now I'm going to assume, well, I guess we're going to find out. I'm hoping these are pads, but I would scan.
Yes, that's already thought that.
Yeah.
If you play too much, you run out.
Well, that's like with Massive Darkness. They had pads, which was great for the upgrades, but what do you do when you run out of the pads? They put a PDS out for them, but I haven't seen any PDS for this. So yeah, here you go. You've got a pad of, I don't know, 20 maybe, for your village. Of course, this will last you the entire Chronicle, so you won't use these every time you play. You just keep it and you add to it over time as you play. But you got your different locations. This up here, these are where you have an X in there, and again, you can upgrade these. Are things that you can use once a round when you're doing your clash. So you got things like rerolls, roll extra dice, reactivate figures, that sort of thing. And obviously, the more it costs savagery to do, right? So it's going to cost you resources to do. But the more of these you unlock, they kind of get better because, for example, you start with move +1 space here, end with +3 spaces there. You get reactivate a figure, you get a free activation, you get reroll an enemy's die, right? Those sorts of things. This again is the same way. You've got your map, and you have a handful of maps. But on the back side of this map is where you track your who you're playing, and you track your hate and your resources. Actually, it should be this way. Your hate and your resources and all that on this sheet. And there's different milestones that are highlighted and have underlines where you get upgrades and stuff like that. So that's how that works. Then, of course, you have your rule book. It's 36 pages, I believe. There's scars tables because as people die, you're going to roll basically, and you're going to give them these scar cards, which will stay with them. But all the rules are in here. There's a little bit of fluff text, but mostly the rules, how to do a clash, how movement, how the campaign, all that stuff works. So, and again, there's that token, the feast token. Again, all this will tell you how they play, and it'll kind of give you an idea of some of the special abilities that the different tribes have, upgrades, mission upgrade, yeah, all that kind of stuff. And so that's in there. And then you have your scenario sheets, and the scenario sheets are based off of, you can see, for example, this one says the burning heel, but it says outer circle. So if we go back to, yeah. So when you're playing the Chronicle through, for example, like you have an outer circle here, then an inner circle, and then the center. So you would pick one of the scenarios if you say, I'm going to attack this land and try to take it over from the outer circle. So you'd be the Burning Hill. There's like a couple of those. Well, there's a couple of, oh yeah, because there's two of everything. I keep forgetting that. Burn the Witch, Forsaken Woods. So you'd pick one of those three scenarios, play that scenario, and then as the attacker or the defender, and then you would flip, and that's a clash. But you got that for the outer circle, inner circle.
On the back as well.
Yeah. Hidden camp. Then you see your mercenaries. That's where you get your what your rewards are, depending on who you are. And then there are some things for like 2 versus 2 that you can do, which takes both maps. I guess that's why there's 2 maps. That just looks sick. King of the Hill, essentially. A free-for-all. All that's on these sheets. All the setups there. It'll tell you where to put your people. It'll tell you where to place the terrain and all that sort of stuff. And that's everything in the core box, right? That is the core box for Hate. Now, but wait, there's more. Next, we're going to unbox 3 additional tribes, which are much smaller. And then we've got some other expansions. So let's unbox some tribes next. Alright, so the first tribe expansion, the Toll, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Once you get in the box, the boxes are tight. So, of course, as I said before, each clan comes with their own expansion, or the expansion clans come with their own upgrades, just like a normal standard clan does. They come with their own action deck, just like the normal clans do. And then, of course, you have the minis with a bunch of tape, because that's what CMON likes to do. Well, at least they only tape 2 sides. Usually they tape all 4, which is very annoying. Yeah. So again, the same colors, but there you can see somebody's getting hurt. I mean, I won't show you the small ones because they're impressive, but these big ones are more impressive. Look at that. Somebody's getting destroyed. So that's the Toll. And does it say? Let's see. Yeah, they're potions and deadly poisons. So they've got some stuff that will like put poison counters or do extra damage over time. It's kind of like what their specialty is. So that's Toll. It's the only way to say it. So I'm always going to call it. And the Sarasa, they're cousins of the Sriracha clan. Not surprised. Standard, right? There's their stuff. Now, holy crap, that guy's a little bit bigger. Is that their shaman? What is that? I can't tell. It's not their, it's their champion. But it's their champion.
Bigger than everybody else's.
Yeah. Way bigger than everybody else's. Oh, there's a ring on the bottom for something.
One of them's base is bigger than the other.
Oh, yeah. That's why. I bet it's for his. The champions. So here's their prince. He's got a bit of a growth on his back. Needs to go see Dr. Pimple Popper to take care of that. It'd be so hard to paint.
Is that his brain?
I guess. Well, it's a skeleton for his face, man. It's not even, I don't even think he's alive. I guess that's why, I guess this is like the army of the undead. This is the champion, which is not as big, but really close. He's corn-fed, for sure. Look at that. Can't imagine. I'd have to see somebody have already painted these to figure out even where to start. Especially like with all that intricacies, like where their weapons and stuff are, as opposed to like what's a strap, yeah, these guys look like they are undead. Cursed tribe is not really alive. Okay, well, I was right. The members of the tribe's rise utilize a little of nature to surprise their opponents with sneak attacks. Yep, so basically they're really hard to kill. And you just basically try to outlast them, is what it says. And then we have the Vora Nash. Now these tokens I do know are for traps. Their shaman has a special ability for traps that does things like reduce dice, knock out the figure, reduced defenses on the figure, that sort of thing. Your standard sets of action and special cards, upgrade deck, and then more rings. I don't understand why there's another ring. This champion's a big one too. Are all the champions that big and I just forgot?
I don't think they were.
Okay. I didn't think it was in the first one. This is like Prince version 2.
Yeah, that one was ready to do.
Okay, yeah. So it is. I guess that's for the champion. Oh my god. Ooh, he's got a huge freaking tail too. What the crap? This is their
I like him.
main guy. Wow. And look at that. It's ridiculous detail.
Is that one? Bornish?
That'd probably be easier to paint though, because he's got lots of armor and junk.
Oh yeah, he looks bad.
Yeah, they all look bad. And then here's.
Yeah, look at him.
Oh wow. And here's the.
This is a great
champion.
reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you do paint.
Yeah. All right. And that's the third one, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's all of the expansion clans. So that will brief you a total of 11 clans to play from. So basically, you have nothing but options. You don't have an excuse to say, I don't have a guy to play. All right, so that's the clans. That's the base box and the clans. So the other thing, yeah, we'll do that one first. Are expansions, and there are a number of expansions. The first one is Battlegrounds of Hate, which adds yeah, so this basically adds another clash that you can run simultaneously. So if you like all 6 people want to get together, you can do that. This is. Oh, we should have. If I'd have known that, we wouldn't have opened up the other pack. Because there's an open board. This is the same as what you have in the standard. All the same standard dice, tokens. So you should have plenty of tokens to do whatever you want. Bases, another set of scenario sheets for inner outer circles.
So it's going to be different ones too. That's what
Probably, yeah. No, the Burning Hill, that's the same one.
so it's just the same.
It's just an extra set.
So it's just to play the
I think so.
two other players.
I think so. Although this has like an insert, well, those are too thick for this.
Oh, that's where these go.
Yeah. Well, I guess that would be good because then you can just have that as a box and be like, here's your box with your stuff. So that's cool.
We're not short of boxes.
We're not short of boxes. And then I'm not going to open that because that's just a normal. That's the same set of stuff we've already looked at. But that's what the Battlegrounds of Hate do. Oh, those have different sizes.
Same size, just red.
Yeah. So you also have these red dice. Basically, they're the same D6s that come with the rest of the game, but they're red instead of black. That'd be a good. I guess you could use that for like attack or defender if you had some. That'd be a good way to do it. All right. The next expansion is an actual expansion. This just the Battlegrounds of Hate basically add another a clash you can play at the same time. Although I guess you could probably do a custom scenario with a huge freaking with a lot of crap on the board if you put all those together.
Yeah, you could.
I mean, you could fill up this table. Like, okay, 8 clans. It's a free for all. Everybody go. This is called the Mother Prophecy. There's some new rules for some of the mercenaries. Kind of how the movement works with some of these huge base figures. Because this mercenary is actually a 2 base. It takes up 6. Oh my god. It takes up 6 squares on the board. Yeah, look right there. Takes up 6 squares on the board.
Yeah, he's big.
There's your scenario sheets. Here's some additional mercenary cards and activation cards for them. Good God Almighty. That's massive, dude. Alright, so here's one of them. Ooh, looks like, that's a chick on top of roots with a bad hair day. Kind of looks like broccoli. Oh, that guy's awesome. He's got horns and a cowl with a like a beast man almost, with like some wicked swords. And then you have the Mountie, which is cute, right? That's a mercenary.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool.
He rolls 5 attacks, 6 defense.
Until you compare him to this guy. I mean, all that put together is smaller than the yak this guy's running around on. That is huge. Feel that. That's got some weight to it.
Man.
That's a lot of plastic. Excuse me. So, yeah, again, if you're into painting, this will take you a while. It'll look amazing when you're done. But, I mean, the detail, I just can't get over the detail. Because Massive Darkness detail, I don't feel like was anywhere near that level.
It's not.
At all.
It's good, but not like that.
And whatnot. That also came with the optional buys of trees. Man, my dog's in the way over here. Trees and huts and plateaus. All these boxes are representative of tokens that are already in the base game. So there's tokens that represent the huts, there's tokens that represent the plateaus, there's tokens that represent the trees. So if you have these, that's great. If not, you'll have tokens that do the same thing, but these are cooler, so you should try to get these. So you got your got some of the smaller pieces, right? And the cool thing is that they'll stack, like, for example, it's like Legos, right? They literally stack on top of each other. So when you put them on the board now, you know, for example, this is level 1 terrain. Well, I said they stack on each other. Yeah, we should get them lined up right. Like, this is level 1 terrain. This is level 2 terrain. And you don't have to guess, because when you're looking down at it, I mean, you can tell, right? Which is really, really cool. And they stack nice that way to memorize that. The order. And then the trees, which look 1,000 times better. Are these multiple sculpts? Or is it the same sculpt? I can't tell.
Probably the same, but they look a little different. That's the way they're laid in.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you got the trees again. These would normally be tokens. So there's your 3D trees, which are awesome. Which way did they go?
Label up, no.
Yeah.
Down, no. Label up, yep.
And here's the huts. Again, there's enough detail on here that you could paint like those white and different colors of hide or whatnot. Now, these don't have, obviously, you can tell these don't have the...
Yeah, what do you do on that? I just put them underneath it?
Yeah, you'll still need the tokens for these, because these will just sit on top of those. But you could sit those on top of it and then pull it off and then flip it. These, that looks like there's 8 of these. So, and then also on the top here, there's tokens that you'll have that you'll set that will show that these are pillaged already or not. So you can leave them on the board. Or... you know, you could take them off, I guess, depending on whatever you want to do. And finally, art, right?
Mm-hmm.
The art book. So I've never been a huge fan of the art books just because I've never really painted. But the art is pretty cool. But especially for this game, there's a ton of lore in here, a ton of art, backstory. But I think one of the coolest things, for example, these kinds of pictures right here, like if you want something to go by, this is probably your best bet for painting these. So this is a good way to see it.
It has all the characters per clan.
Yeah, and it's divided by clan, all the characters in the clan, and some text and stuff. If you don't read the series, this is oh wow, that's really helpful like that. That's the most helpful probably. If you don't read the series and you want to know more and you like the lore of the world, if that's one of the things that you use, that's an immersion for you, this is definitely the way to go. There's just a lot of cool art. Of course, some of the art, there's probably some stuff in here that maybe different poses and stuff for the people, right? That is from the Chronicles of Hate series. So definitely worth checking out if you can get it. And I think that's it. That is the entirety of the Chronicles of Hate. Again, published by CMON, Adrian Smith, and Guillotine Games. If you get a chance to play it, definitely give it a try. If you're looking for a series to read, you can read the Chronicles of Hate. I have heard the books. One of the interesting things, neat things about the series Chronicles of Hate is that it's a lot less. It's not like your normal comic book or anything like that. It's a lot of pictures, and it's mostly pictures. There's not a whole lot of word and dialogue, so you really have to immerse yourself and kind of read through it, and you're kind of making the story up and seeing it through your own eyes when you go through that series, which I think is pretty cool. So, with all that said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you, Damon, for buying it so I didn't have to, and so Kevin didn't have to, and bringing it over here so we can unbox it. And we look forward to playing it. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing, and I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next video. Bye, guys.